You're live.
StreamYard went crazy and now it's back. Okay, so I want to start off with apologizing ahead of time if we go blank. I don't know if it's our individual internets or if it's the servers at YouTube that may be overloaded with too many people streaming. So there's that. And you guys have anything you want to say to our folk?
Hello.
Hello. So we went through and I got your questions. There was quite a few, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get to them. There was like 60 something. But Johnny, do you want to start off or do you want to start off, Jen, with your questions?
I just had the one.
Okay.
Let's do Johnny's first.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't prepared.
Oh, you want me to throw one of mine out?
Well, here it is. His name is James Troutman, 53 years old. He threatened the governor of Kentucky. I just kind of want to look into his future and see what's going on. Because his comments were determined to be threatening to commit a crime that is likely to result. This is what they're charging him with. Threatening to commit a crime likely to result in death or serious physical injury to the Kentucky governor.
So he threatened his life.
So he was going to go to some sort of fair, some sort of event, and one of the people on Facebook asked him, will the governor be there shooting plates? Some unidentified person asked. And then he said, well, with any luck, the governor will be the one whom the shooting will be directed. That's what he said. And he also made some threatening posts April 16th and April 20th on, I think, Twitter, basically saying that he hopes that the mayor will get shot or something like that.
Oh, Lord.
And so he is, he tweeted some sort of ask Bashir about William Goebel. And William Goebel is the last, I think, Kentucky governor who got assassinated in 1900. And so he's also, back in 2007, pled guilty for shooting a crossbow into his neighbor's garage door. So he's a little unhinged from time. So he's been arrested for threatening to assassinate or making threatening messages about assassination of the Kentucky governor, who happens to be a Democrat, I do believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's his name again, Johnny?
James Troutman.
James Troutman.
Or is he signaling somebody else to do it? Purely for entertainment.
Like they came down on Sarah Palin after that senator was shot because she was putting people's pictures up with crosshairs on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that little kind of stuff like that you cannot play with. So he has been arrested. So is this over for him? Because he's a lawyer. So, like, is he going to lose his license? And he had people on his side the last time, so he didn't get disbarred.
The hanged man on the bottom. Ooh, man, here he is talking, blah, 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 tweeting or whatever, communication. His challenge is he has no regrets. He doesn't regret it. He thinks he's standing on a higher ground morally. He's got a rough transition coming up. A lot of anxiety around him. His fortunes are changing. He was working with others, so I think there is a collaboration here. But then I get the card of cooperation. So Maybe cooperating with the courts and telling them, shedding light on who he's been cooperating with or been collaborating with. There's more than just him. He's got some allies, some friends that are like of the same mindset, it looks like.
Cool.
I think he's going to jail. I got judgment and trapped, imprisoned.
Yeah, he's there now.
Yeah, he's going to stay there because I get judgment, trapped, and imprisoned. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon. What are you getting, Johnie?
I have no idea.
Johnie has no idea.
There is two people with the King of Cups and King of Knight of Cups and King of Cups. There is the Fool and the Four of Wands. So he is going to be in court a lot. Naturally, because this is serious, but there is going to be some other kind of news. I think he may have, if someone decides to be vindictive here with the Ace of Swords, there might be more information that comes out about him than he's actually prepared for here with the Two of Pentacles, because he has some sort of sneaky something going on with him. There's something else in the background that he probably should. If you're going to do crappy stuff, then you shouldn't draw attention to it by doing other crappy things. But here is the law. There is the Knight of Pentacles. I don't know about disbarment, though, because I still see some work here. Unless he's going to go like Fox News or something. But here with the Nine of Cups, this might be a bit of a fantasy for him for Act 2 actually do something to the governor, because this is too many times that you're coincidentally talking about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I get, though. It's not like a deep situation. Like he's in jail. He's gonna be there until he's not.
I just asked, will he lose his law license? And I get, again, judgment, probably some prison time and, ending to his license. I don't think he's going to keep his law license. And it was interesting because you were saying he's done this before. I get like, he's done this before. So similar things.
So I'm getting, can you guys hear me okay? Or is it muffled when I bring the screen down?
I could hear you.
Okay, so he's up here. He's presenting as the man. He's been very successful and quite secure and stable. However, there's something that's coming up for him around money, payments, also quite possibly something that has to do with him drinking because of the fish here. There's something here about stealing elections here with the mice and the crossroads that he's lied about. And then there's retirement. There's significant worry, significant stress here. This could also be the threats that he was making, conspiracy, stealing, thievery, corruption, long-term corruption, taken away from stability here. But there's evidence of criminality against this guy. And he's lied about stuff here. He's a liar. And it looks like he's lied about money. This is retirement money, pension money, money for retirement, money that needs time to grow. This right here, these two is huge loads of finance. So I don't know if he's working, if he's done stuff around hedge fund managers, because this is a manager here. And he's got multiples of them that have been stealing stuff. These could also be executives, but this is huge loads of money that he's been lying about. But there's evidence of criminality around him. There's 3 men here and 2 women involved around him. And the possibility of him having an alcoholic or being an alcoholic or something to do with drinking. But they have evidence on him on other criminality that looks like it's around finances and money.
Yeah, he's done something else that he should have never opened his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get there's 3 people, a woman and 2 men around him that he's of like mind with, that he's in cahoots with.
Yep. I got 2 women and 2 men on mine around him.
One of them's a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. And there might be some sort of payment to a judge as well, because he had the fish and the lilies. So perhaps something there with a payment to a judge.
See, the last time, because this crossbow incident, he was arrested for. He was never disbarred or anything like that. Because I believe, I forget what the article said exactly, but I believe that like everything went his way. I mean, yes, he got arrested, but still, nothing really happened.
Paid off a judge, probably.
Yeah, because there's a payment to a judge there and money for retirement.
Mm.
Dirty, dirty weasel. What you got, Jenny? What you got?
With all the embezzled, laundered, and kickback money Trump has taken while in office, will any of that become public knowledge? Will we see records and things? Someday, any day, now.
So we're asking if any of the money that he's gotten from kickbacks or stolen or anything like that, will we ever find out about it?
Yeah. Any laundered money, anything. Will we find out about any of his
Financial crimes while in office?
Yeah, illegal financial dealings. I got that. It's been going on a long time prior to his getting elected. What are y'all getting?
I get basically yes, but my problem with anything that has to do with Trump is not exposure, it's will it matter? And I didn't answer that, but I get the Ace of Swords as my first card. So there is your clarity and, the truth. With the Temperance crossing it, there's your balance. There is your, you're working together. Got 5 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles. How something went from no money to a lot of money type thing. There's the 4 of Pentacles. I got pretty much every pentacle you can find. There's hoarding of money, and then there's the 2 of Swords. So this is something that was supposed to be blocked from view. 7 of Wands, defending. The fear is the Queen of Wands. So this is the opposition, the Nancy Pelosi wing of his life. And then there's the 8 of Pentacles, and then there's the 7 of Pentacles. So anything, this is saving up money. This is seeded money, invested money, money given to him. This is money he works for. So this is money that's like under the table, under taking the grease type of thing. But like I said, y'all pretty much know everything that he's done, but nothing has ever mattered. That's my
There's
problem.
probably more that we don't know about Johnie too.
But that's
you probably stole toilet paper too. Come on now. What are you getting, Jenny?
Oh, secrets that he's kept, in particular, money he's gotten from Russia. Someone's going to be offering it up. And it does feel like it'll come up in a court situation because I have justice here, fortune's changing. And somebody's going to go to jail over it. I'm not sure. I never see Trump in jail. It's a tower moment. It's probably one of his kids or something. Yeah, one of the 3. They're going to lose the court case.
I'm getting judgment and regret and danger for the family here. Quite possibly also the money that has been made has been through property here. So, and this is a violation here with the scythe. So it could be judgments or a trial around some sort of violation while he was in office and around his property. So I'm wondering if this is part of like emoluments stuff here. And then there's stuff around foreign opportunities that's coming in from overseas. So yeah.
I wonder which one of his kids is in the most trouble.
I would say Junior. Little Beavis and Butthead over there.
He's the worst for not being able to keep his mouth shut. He's just like his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a bad phrase to hear. You're just like your dad, and your
You're
dad.
just like your dad. It's not a compliment.
Oh, you're just like your father. Oh,
I
mercy.
got another question.
Okay.
Angela Merkel of Germany, with the investigations into Deutsche Bank, is she helping to investigate Trump?
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Like, I get there is some info here with the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Pentacle that she's not standing in the way of, but helping. I don't necessarily see, because here's the bank with the 10 of Pentacles, but then there's the 10 of Swords around it. So it's not like she's taking up the mantle of going up against Trump, but the Hierophant and the 10 of Water, she's not standing in the way, though. There's a couple of things I think maybe comes back to a Robert Mueller thing. There's a couple of things that she did help with, or a couple of things that her administration expedited, or something like that. But because here's with the 10 of Cups, there is some harmony. So it's not like she is in opposition of it, because the Devil and the King of Swords is, I mean, she met the man, so.
He was throwing candy at her, Johnie. Like, did you ever see that picture that was all over the internet from the, what was it, the G20
or the G7?
The G20, and he's sitting there like this, and Angela Merkel's like leaning over the desk. He was throwing candy at her and saying, "Don't ever tell me I never gave you anything." Like, oh.
No, I did. I don't want to see. That's embarrassing to the whole country.
What did you get, Jenny?
I get that she's supportive of the investigators. So, in other words, if they've got committees that are investigating Deutsche Bank, I see investigators charging in. Their challenge is counting the pennies, basically, because I feel like it's got tentacles. It's got this tentacle kind of feeling, like who all's involved, assessing the harvest, assessing the situation. I do feel like there's lawyers, involved that are, like financial lawyers involved, breaking the bank apart, and trying to figure out who all's involved. She's going to celebrate, if they get something on Trump, but I do see like that she's supporting the breaking apart of this bank and seeing who all's involved and what all they've done. There is money news coming. There is a loss for Trump, because it does some dark money dealings, and it's it's been covered up. It's all image. He doesn't have as much money as he thinks. This may be one of the things that helps get him to go away, and then he can write his own little Petty Boots Factory book.
So I'm getting the Ship, the Scythe, and the Fish. It's ending here on a positive card. but this is a man. The fish is the king of diamonds there. So I'm not quite sure, but it is saying that his money that's coming in from overseas gets cut off. He gets separated from it. So it's like they cut off his supply to the foreign money, one way, shape, or form. And then I pulled a clarifier. I got the clover. This is like a little bit of luck. So she's not stopping it, but she's not getting in the way either. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just like, what did you find? Yeah, go ahead. You know, and how are they even allowed to still operate considering the global financial crimes that they're involved? I mean, all sorts of stuff. Like, they make Wells Fargo look like saints. You know, like, how have they not been...
You can pin it on people at the top, kind of like Wells Fargo when they were opening false accounts, and then everybody else is the business itself is fine. It's the people inside of it.
Yeah, it's the greed. It's like Cyprus Bank. I mean, they all know that Russia launders money through Cyprus Bank. How are they allowed to still operate on a global scale?
How have they not been shut down? You know, I don't understand it.
Yep. But Artie has run in and made his appearance.
Hi, Artie!
Racing around.
And I wanted to say hello to Red Lentil is here. You guys, please check out her channel. Onus Tarot's here. I think I saw Footprint Tarot here. They're wonderful readers. If you guys haven't checked them out, please do so. I'd be really kind. So sorry about that plug, but on to the next readings. So I got questions on the community board, and one of the questions was if 45's taxes will be released, and if so, when?
Well, since the Supreme Court is still meeting via Zoom or however they're meeting, I'm going to look in weeks.
Okay.
I thought about looking in months, and I thought, no, I should look in weeks because they're still convening. Mm-hmm. Artie, leave Shelley alone. Don't make me come in there. I hear Shelley growling in the kitchen.
He's like, get away from me, Artie.
And he's racing around, so I know who the culprit is. Wild ass.
Little Artie. Such a ruckus.
I got 2 of Pentacles on the bottom. 2 weeks, 2 months.
What are you getting, Johnie?
It says yes. I'm going to say no.
It says yes, but you're going to say no.
Yes. It's not going to come out during his administration. Like, it always just says yes. Like, it's going to come out, but mind you, this question's come up 150,000 times. So
yeah,
it always says yes. Yes is going to come out. I still get the same thing. There's the Lovers and the 7 of Pentacles. Right now, his money is protected by those around him. Even if they're on odds and opposite sides, as you see Stan and Dorothy, they were never really the best of friends, but you know, they still were on the same side at some point. But there is transition, and then the 10 of Cups. I think once he leaves, then you'll have more. You won't have the same. What is the word? You won't have the same. I'll just say reason. You won't have the same reason to protect him because he's not president. He can't do nothing for you. The rest of the world is coming after his throat, so he's not really. Right now, he's just like buzzer food now. So it's like he's not really serve a purpose. So you just let him pick him apart. Because there's the banks and all the legacy money, and then the world here, all the stuff that he's done throughout the world. Bad news, chaotic energy, judgment, and the moon. So I think this is afterwards. I don't know if we're going to see something. And not to say that, 2 days from now he won't be there, but still. Afterwards is what I see, but is what I'll say. But I don't think it's coming out no time soon.
I'll agree with you. It's not coming out till he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think soon is relative.
Yes.
Because I've got in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 9 weeks, there's an offer. So I laid a clarifier on that, and it's to Trump. So there's an offer to Trump in 9 weeks. I think in like 6 weeks, like he knows he lost the case, like that the Supreme Court announces, yes, you're going to release him. I think nothing tangible is going to come out for at least 10 to 12 weeks because I get the Sun card and I get presenting something tangible. And I laid another card on the Trump card and I got he's out in the cold, like he's gone, and then it comes out.
I'm getting the garden, the scythe, the clover. Yes, it's going to come out. Perhaps once he's separated from the public here, once he's been separated from on the public, shortly after that it comes out. This could also be that the public has been cut out from seeing like the details of it, but it does come out. Another way to read this would be that there's a sudden swift decision that affects the public, but it is coming out soon. I tried to ask one, please take this with a grain of salt. Timing is very, very, very difficult. I got the garden again in the house. The garden is around the 20th or 20 days. The house is number 4, so that's indicative of the month of April. Well, it's April 26th. Obviously, it's not going to come out this month. But with the house, this is a little bit slower. The timing it's slower. So if this is about 20 days, it's going to be longer than 20 days. See what I'm saying? So yeah, it comes out. It does come out. It's just when is just tricky to get handle on.
It looks to me like it's going to come out sometime later this summer.
Mm-hmm. Quite possibly.
Unless you go by the garden and the house is like inauguration.
Yeah. Yeah.
The day somebody else comes in, boom, here we have taxes.
But it's once he's removed from the public is when it comes out. Let me see. Okay, so one of the other questions was, will we find out the extent of Russia's meddling in the 2016 election? I know that that Senate Intel report just came out and they admitted it. I do know that it is online. Parts of it are severely redacted. They're blacked out. Like it's just a page of black where you can't read a lot of it. So will we ever find out the extent to which how far the meddling went?
Like the Mueller report, everything's redacted.
Yeah. It's like, that's a lot of ink. You go to print it out, it's just black. Like you got to go through 20 cartridges, And
then what we hear is it's a witch hunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're waiting. I can't figure out why. Oh, because they don't want to lose elections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't want to lose elections. They're working together on waiting on releasing anything. Once the elections are over, then it's like kaboom.
Mm-hmm.
The message comes out. Everybody in the network.
Getting little Johnny. Johnny looks like he's deep in thought. He's over there like.
There's Ace of Cups. This is, I don't know who. It's a person. But anyway, the law is burdened by action. And so we're going to have to wait probably until either Trump's not there. Well, yeah. It's the same thing. I was going to say, is Trump not there or Biden is in, but that's the same thing. So if he is removed beforehand or if Biden comes in, You'll know a whole bunch of stuff once the vindictiveness of the Democrats start, and then they just start pushing stuff out there because there's no reason not to cooperate now.
Yeah.
But the law is burdened as of right now, so as much as the intel community has reported, that's as much as we're going to know right now. But the extent we will know is just, it'll take some time.
Yeah, I'm getting a yes as well. I got the clover, the ring, and the ship. This is lucky agreements that were made. Sorry, I think it goes this way. Yeah, lucky agreements, opportunistic agreements that were made with foreigners. So this is yes, with people that are far away, foreign. And this one wanted to pop out the bear of Russia right there for you. So yeah, we're going to find out when. I don't know, but we'll get to see all the partnerships and agreements that were made for the how far it went. And with the ring here, I'm wondering if this is also in regards to not just his family, but I'm talking, like when you guys said the network, I'm talking everybody. I'm talking the RNC, his family, senators, people in, representatives, everybody. The whole circle. Yeah, the whole circle. Okay. The next question is a viewer wanted to know, is there a replacement for the Dem nominee in the event that Biden's health fails or he can't continue to run due to unforeseen circumstances? Do they have a backup for him? Is there a replacement for him in the event?
Good question. And if so, who is it?
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot to choose from. How many do we have running at one time? Like 19 or something crazy.
Whole Brady bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get an answer to that. Well, the answer to that question does not really line up with the question itself because the question is, do they have one? Yes or no, and who? Here's what I get. So I get the hermit. This is the person that they singled out. This is the one they searched for with the Five of Pentacles. They this is why I say they searched for, they not to be conspiratorial, but they pushed everyone else to the side because I believe he was always going to be the nominee no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been running against Jesus and it was still going to be Joe Biden. This is who they chose. They pushed everyone else out, and then next thing you know, everyone is endorsing him, even Bernie Sanders. So they know where their allegiance lies, and they know what they need to do: beat Trump. So Seven of Wands. I don't care what happens to him; they're going to defend it and say he's okay. And the Knight of Wands. This is the person they need to charge in. The Eight of Swords. They're going to stick with him. And then once he's inaugurated, they can give the opportunity to somebody else. This kind of even looks like tickets to the park down in here. So it's like, if no matter what happens, they're going to stick with him until he's inaugurated, and then you can think of something else to do. But that's what I get.
Damn. Thanks for keeping it real, Johnie.
I get they've already got someone in mind that they would offer the job to. And it's going to be someone they think that can, run against Trump and beat him. I asked who is it, and I get the one that was the offer will be made to the one that was blocked by Hillary.
Oh wow!
So,
wow.
So that tells me, and then I threw some clarifiers, and I get King of Pentacles. I don't know what sign Bernie is, but
He's a Virgo. He's a Virgo.
King of Pentacles. It would be a transition, like it, he's got a star on him, so he's got a lot of people watching him. But it would, it'd be a new action in the event that there's a calamity.
So I started off with, do they have somebody in mind? I got the bear, which would be your person in a position of authority. Here's the mice, which is illness, thievery, corruption, something's taken away. It takes away from here. It takes away from the card before it. And then here's your new person with the child, something new, something in the early stages. So this could be talking about a powerful illness and then somebody new. Slow bleeding of power and authority, because the mice doesn't steal everything right away. It takes away little by little. So yeah, they do have somebody in mind, okay? For who it is, I got the bear. Here's your person in a position of authority. A change, a transfer, talking, communicating with the advisor here, and that's who becomes the new person. It's this, the advisor. That's new, quite possibly younger. I wouldn't know about how much younger, but it's new or younger, a new or younger advisor.
Well, it's hard to be older, right?
Yep. So
thank you, Joanne.
Oh, thank you, Joanne. Was it Joanne? Thank you. Another question was, there is a manned space lift coming out of Cape Canaveral May 27th. And they wanted to know if everything is going to be all right with that launch.
Where is it going? Just the space station?
Mm-hmm. Out of Cape Canaveral in Florida.
I got one more passenger for him. Can we put Trump in there?
No, we need to put the whole administration
to the moon.
Or Ivanka.
I like the moon.
First president in space, and leave him there. We have a lot of space crash. Let's just add to it.
Send him to Venus. There's the hot air planet. Send him there.
He'll float away.
Like the Trump balloon, helium baby balloon. Victory card on it.
Yeah, I got 6 of Wands too.
It's not going to go quickly, though. That's the challenge. For it to go quickly, it's like there might be a slight delay or something.
I get that too.
Yeah, delay. Yeah, having to wait, and then climbing to higher ground, and then it goes smoothly.
I'm getting the heart or the bouquet, the heart, and the fox. These are 2 positive. This is 1 negative. It's ending in a negative here. There might be saying there's something that needs to be checked out, QA'd, investigated first, but otherwise it's okay. But there's something that may raise alarm here that needs further, like it needs to be QA'd or something needs to be looked at. So, did you go, Johnie?
I didn't, but I don't have to.
Okay.
It's okay. So I get the 6 of Wands, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the Queen of Swords. So this is by the book type of thing, because this is literally rocket science, but this is not beyond their scope. It's not like I could do it, right? But here are the Page of Swords, so there's a little delay. There might be a snag or two, but the 8 of Wands, there will be travel. This is travel through the air, so there will be some travel. So it's not something I think stops them. So, but it ends in the Three of Swords. So there's separation. Sometimes this is just separation by distance. So it's not necessarily disaster, but Three of Swords is Three of Swords. So I'll leave that alone. And
Hey, Johnny, last time you used that deck, people were asking what deck it was. Can you let them know?
It's called the 78 Mystical. Or
78 Mystical?
78 Tarot Mythical is what it's called.
Okay, so for those of you guys that were asking last time, there you go.
I'm going to give one away on the first, but I think she might be sold out of one of them. She's got two kind of just the same.
Lucky viewer.
So go and see.
So another question was, did Judge Walton read the full unredacted Mueller report? Did he read the full report?
Yeah, he's supposed to be making some sort of decision this week, isn't he? On like if he's going to release it to the public or something.
Something like that. I haven't watched any news, Jenny. I had to unplug. Like I was
I was out in the yard gardening all day today. I was like, I just got to get away from TV and reading. And
I can't
looked at a couple of stories, but the only thing I was basically skimming. I only look for two things now: is Trump gone, and now is Kim gone. That's all I'm looking for right now. I don't care about nothing else because the rest of them people ain't gonna change until you vote them out and change it. But I just looking for those.
Wait, what are we reading on?
Did Judge Walton read the fully unredacted Mueller report?
That's right, Judge Walton.
I feel as though I still want to say no. Like there is something missing. And for whatever reason, I want to say the judge knows this. I don't know how. Because I get the Knight of Cups, which is my false knight card. So there is something there that is not quite the way it's supposed to be. The Queen of Wands, oddly enough, is coming up as Robert Mueller. The reason is the full potential of like the King of Wands or this Queen of Wands. The King of Wands is not there. So as in everything that he did do is not represented in this situation. So this is where I get that there might be some with the Three of Swords, some foul play with that report. The Six of Cups, this is something he's done before. He shortened it. In the Star, this is illusionary for me instead of the moon a lot of times. So I think that he may have an indication that he doesn't have the full thing, or maybe he's reading something and is still questioning whether this is the full report because he may not trust Barr like most people don't. So is he reading the full one? I don't think so.
I agree. I think he knows he's not reading the full one. Give me another word, Johnny. Ten of Swords. Backstab. Foul play. Foul play.
Yeah, that could be too.
Foul play. Normally it's endings, but I'm like, it's not endings. What is it? There's something going on. It was given to them. The challenge is with the court system and the Department of Justice. At the root of this, I've got the Queen of Pentacles. So like I've got something tangible, but like you said, it's not the king. The king's sitting over here. He knows he doesn't have the whole thing. So yes, he's read what he's got in the past, but there's some things left out. And it's like he knows like this is Mueller, this is the judge. He knows there's something sneaky going on and that the whole thing is over here. He doesn't have it all. Treachery, manipulated. I'm trying to see if he's going to get it. a little bit of masking and lies, deception. Oh, he's going to take an action on him on Department of Justice here, it looks like. Yeah, he's going to take some sort of court action. It looks like on whoever was turning it over. He's eventually going to get it. He doesn't have it now. I wonder if this
enough though that it doesn't matter. Let me see.
I wonder if this judge has talked to Mueller, like pulled him in and talked to him. And
so I'm getting that he's reading what he got here because it's ending with the bouquet, which is a positive card. However, before that, I have the mice, which is thievery, corruption, something's missing, something is stolen and taken away. There's bits that were taken away here that needed time to grow or be established, but he's reading what he was given. The bear wanted to jump out. This is Bar, somebody that's an authority, large, heavy set person. So there's Bar. And then evidence on the administration, or he's got access to the administration, or he has like really good knowledge of what they were doing in the administration. So, and it had to do with foreign stuff here. So he's looking at what he has, but there's stuff missing. There's stuff taken out of it. So I don't know if it's names here with the key. If it's like the identity to people that were in the administration or in the family.
That's what I think.
But there's names. Things that identify others in the family or in the administration.
The children.
So
the children.
That might be what's missing. So
tangible things on the children. Thank you, Share Bear.
Thank you, Share Bear.
I get the 2 cups, 10 pentacles. I think it's some administration people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the children and Russia connections, and Putin, and lots of money, all hidden. He's going to try again to get it, and he's going to be successful. He's going to try again. He's like, he knows he doesn't have it all. Like, I've got again that foul play on the bottom.
I see Noelle's writing something here. I'm going to ask because she's saying judge may have 2 copies and comparing. So I'm going to ask if he's got 2 copies and comparing.
I'm going to ask if he's sent to Mueller.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. That's probably why Mueller came up in my reading.
Mm-hmm. And mine too. Like if he hasn't talked to Mueller, is he going to?
Like might call him and be like, hey, what's up?
Like, I got this. Can you verify for me? Can you come in on record, testify that this is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? No, you're missing about 100 pages there.
Yeah, or you're missing about 3,000 pages, you know? Because I read the original was like thousands of pages long. Thousands, you know?
Yeah.
No, I'm not getting 2 copies. I'm getting there's something here that's going to be illuminated about one of his kids, quite possibly Junior, and they buried it in they buried it from it coming out, evidence or something around Junior that they took out. But I'm not seeing 2 copies. I'm just seeing this. Or this could, with the coffin here, this could also be other areas that were like seriously redacted. And it exposes a child.
I get he makes an offer to Mueller. And then I asked, will Mueller talk to him? And I get a yes again, truth and a commitment. Mueller knows there's stuff lost. He'll be diplomatic in how he says it. In other words, it's something lost. Yeah, communicating. Starts a big old fight.
What are you getting, Johnie?
Again, this is going to turn into something bigger. Here's Trump with the Prince of Avarice. So here's the greed and narcissism is what this card represents. Then there are secrets here, and then there's introspection. So the judge knows that there is something else going on. I don't know how, but I think it just might be because I asked, will he talk to Mueller? And this is why. Because he has this inkling that no matter what the court said, that Barr might be doing it on his own agenda. And so that's why.
So can we ask, what does Mueller think of Barr now?
Yeah.
Weren't they friends?
They were friends. Their wives were friends. They went to the same church. They keep working.
Thank you, Melissa.
It's so what does he think of him now? Because he's interceded so many times. What does he think of him now?
He lied shamelessly, and I mean, he's basically, advocating for an authoritarian government, basically, as Attorney General. Like that. It's just insanity. It's insanity. Didn't they go to school together? Were they schoolmates in college or university, or did they work together at DOJ?
I would bet they probably worked together like no, they weren't schoolmates. Mueller worked, he worked in the New York district for a while. He prosecuted a bunch of mafia guys. I think Mueller's older than Barr, quite a bit older.
Okay.
I've got Mueller here, like he thinks Barr has a hidden agenda. He is watching him. He thinks he is somehow trapped in the administration, and that's why he's being supportive. And I was like, well, what would he do? He's like, he needs a new job, a new perspective, and to get knocked down to size.
Yeah. Jeez. What are you getting, Johnie?
Money and the devil.
Oof, Lord.
Paid off.
Six of Pentacles and the devil. So there is this. He's on the payroll, and then money and the devil. Well, money and the emperor in this in particular instance. Now, the emperor, to me, the emperor technically is like authority. It's father figure, so it's never really a harsh card. But in my deck, it never shows up as a good person because it shows up as overbearing. I can get the King of Wands if I need like the father figure, but this one,
domineering.
So I'm getting he thinks that he's a liar and he's betrayed, that he has had a transformation that has gone terribly wrong, a transformation that has brought an ending, a loss here because he wanted to take an opportunity. Here we're seeing that they have a history. The man over here, which is Barr, here we have the lilies, the King of Spades. So one of them is showing up as Barr. One of them is showing up as, this is Mueller here because the snake has, the lilies has a snake over it. So I'm thinking this is Barr. Barr did it for his love of, fame and fortune, perhaps to work for this administration because there was briberies and gifts here to be given. But there's been a change of heart here. Lying about his successes, also quite possibly something very extremely important to do with a black box that houses technology. He might know something about that server where they've put stuff in, even though that came out way later. But there's a black box with technology that's holding the lies inside of it. And what Barr has participated in to bury stuff, to end things, to cover it up. Well, not even cover up, just to kill stuff, to,
Yeah.
like his investigations and everything. But there's been a serious change of heart. There's no hope for that. If there ever was a friendship, there's no hope for it to get back together, because you have the stars followed by the coffin. If this is not a black box that has technology, this is about your hopes and dreams come to a serious sudden ending and a loss. So there's that. You sold yourself to the devil.
Devil in the money.
So I had another one, you guys. There was somebody that wanted to know, and I kind of wanted to know too, because Maine goes out there telling people to drink stuff that we know not to even give our kids, and there's a warning label on these products to not be ingested or consumed in any way. And the viewer wanted to know, how close are we to hearing about 45's removal because he's been giving medical advice without a license? I didn't know. I didn't know, but I had read on Twitter that there was like 20 something cases in Maryland where people really took his advice and did that one thing that you're not supposed to do.
Oh man.
I'm like, what would happen to common sense? I mean, like the Darwin Award. We're going to run out of Darwin Awards.
You have to remember, though, there are people out there that mentally aren't balanced. There are people with lower IQs who don't know better, and they want to love the president, so they're going to do whatever he says. Why did that couple do the thing with the fish tank stuff?
Yeah.
But that's why you don't give medical advice if you're not a doctor, because there are some people who can't interpret that as a problem.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sunflower.
Thank you, Sunflower. Ay.
But it's bleach.
Wait, I know. I know. All you have to do, crap.
It doesn't smell or taste good, so it can't be tempting. You've lived your entire life until this buffoon came along, not drinking it, because you knew it was bad. Now, how all of a sudden is it good? That I would think that that's a fake story. It's just got to be fake that people are actually doing it.
No, people are doing it.
The 911 calls blew up. That was on the news, that they were blowing up 911 calls, calling and asking about it.
I just refuse to believe it. I can't.
I know. It's like you got to be a special kind of dumb. Like you take all these precautions to keep that stuff away from kids and your pets and, but then here you are, a grown-ass person going under the sink. Let me get a spoonful of bleach because
Mr. Clean and Clorox have to add to their label, do not drink and not to be ingested, even if your president tells you to.
They put out a statement, Jen. They had to.
But they're going to have to change the label on their package, real big, with a Trump's picture with a no through it. It's the new symbol for poison. Big X through it.
There cannot be real people. You did not drink. You did not drink Lysol. Even the one that smells like Gain. You just didn't do it. I just don't know.
They did. I'm baffled.
There's a reason I don't do medical advice on YouTube. When people ask me to read on, will this help or this help or this help? And it's like, I am not a doctor. I'm not doing any kind of medical advice. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. I just can't. I can't.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yes, YouTube, for entertainment purposes only. That's what happens when you watch that brain poison that's being televised every day. This is what happens. I'm going to word it differently. Hold on. I'm going to ask it differently.
I think that he is going to get threatened, and they're going to get defensive naturally. Do I think he'll be removed because of it? No.
He'll probably get threatened with a bunch of lawsuits.
Yes, here's something, documents and all that kind of stuff. And 6 of Wands, this is him. And then Justice right after that. So there will be Some threatening of the lawsuit. Here is the hermit, and there's going to be some spin. This is not what he said, because he technically, I believe, said injection.
Mhm.
But still, there's the Six of Pentacles. This is you giving out something. Oh, ain't that wonderful?
I get he pays a settlement.
This is one hand giving out something to another hand, but this hand's dead
Ooh.
with the skeleton.
Mhm.
And this person's actually underground, as you can see by the shovel. So it's like him giving advice that is actually harming people. But I don't see removal. I get the hangman, so it's still kind of stuck there.
Mhm.
It's going to come from someone who's grieving a loss. So someone who has a loved one who does something stupid,
I
and
think they'll do it again too.
Oh yeah.
it gets a lawyer, takes it to court. I get it goes to court. They're standing on higher ground, and it's going to surprise people. Yeah, that someone did it, but somebody did it. And I get they get a payout. There's some bullying going on, but I get they get a payout. I don't get that it goes to a full trial, because Trump hangs on here, comes to an end.
I am getting here's the birds, here's him, what he is saying, what he is speaking about here, also quite possibly Twitter. I mean, if we're going to be literal. He's made multiple statements here that has made his advisors very, 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 very nervous, because it's something that can make you sick. It takes away from you. And then there's some desire here to change what he's saying, simply because out of the people that listen to him here, out of loyalty and that love him. But there's his advisors know that there's several here that are going to get sick. Okay, on the bottom row, it's him, the letter, the cross. So he is sending out a message that is quite burdensome and difficult, perhaps of a trial. And then something that is being delayed here, that's this is like there's going to be some sort of a trial or something that gets delayed, because there's evidence of illness. And then his advisors that are suffering, or this could be the loyalist that suffer, or the loyalist that gets sacrificed here. So, and they become ill because of what he said. He's got the birds over his head. So, and then there's there's evidence of him speaking that's guilty. Multiple instances where that is documented. But he's going to cause a lot of pain and suffering and illnesses. But his advisors might be telling him to shut your mouth, don't say anything anymore. But, you can't get a narcissist to pay attention. Yeah. And by the way, for those of you guys that want a good laugh, please check out Randy Rainbow's video from today about a spoonful of, I can't say it.
Yeah. Check out Randy Rainbow's latest song. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cha-Cha Brown. Thank you, Cha-Cha. And thank you, Shelly or Shelly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. Alrighty. How you guys doing? Doing okay? Johnie looks like he's contemplating over there. Are you still trying to figure out why people would do that?
You do not drink cleaners.
And CJ's asking, and I kind of want to know this too. Why is Dr. Birx defending Trump's statement? Why is he defending it?
Okie dokie.
It's like, how embedded is she with him?
What statement is she defending?
Yeah,
his statement that he was being sarcastic and stuff. She was on oh God, was it Face the Nation or what? I can't remember what I saw her on. CJ, what was she on? I can't remember what show she was on, but I remember watching her defending it. It was like, or CNN or something. Anyway, she was defending his statement. She was like, no, he was being sarcastic, and let's put this behind us. It's already been said. Let's put it behind us going forward. She kept.
But then if you watch the video where he's making those ridiculous statements, the look on her face is like, what in the world? Like,
sure. like terror.
Yeah, it's like it's either Stockholm syndrome or she's just trying to hang in there to feel like because she may think that she has some grip on what he's saying, but girl, you don't.
Myself and I said it was on Face the Nation. I was like, it was on something, and I caught just a clip of it before I went out to garden.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, really? And then I changed the channel and went out and gardened.
You see, why is she defending his statements?
Yeah, Ona's saying she said he needed more time to digest the information. Yeah, why don't you digest the
bleach?
So I need more time to ingest the information. So that means I make a comment about that, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you covering up for him? Why are you stalling for him? Why not say, you know what? He was wrong to say it. Here's the truth. Don't ingest those things. Don't inject those things.
But that's just
and don't stick a flashlight down your throat and choke on it.
That just goes to show you what an idiot he is. Like an idiot. I mean, this guy makes Bush Jr. look like Einstein. That's how
he walks out of the press conference, and there's Loretta saying he made her go out there to defend his crap, So, he walks out of the press conference. He won't talk to the press, and he throws everybody else out there under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ella.
Thank you, Ella. Let me see.
Ooh, she was anxious about this. Ooh, that's all I've been getting all week is the anxiety card. They're all about to blow up. Yeah, talk for me, because I just walked away from the press and I know everything's about to blow up.
Yep. Good Lord. Lord, have all the mercies. I'm going there with Johnnyism. Going there with Johnnyism.
Managing it, manipulating the treachery that was talked about, managing it, trying to make it seem like we're all one happy family. Let's put this to an end. And then telling the truth about, no, you shouldn't, ingest those things. She's bonded with him. She's burdened, but she's bonded with him. And has been for a long time. So she likes him. She sees it as strategy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not strategy, that's stupidity.
What are you getting, Johnny?
A migraine.
A migraine.
I don't understand how she's a doctor?
Uh-huh.
How do you go to school for 4,000 years? Because you want to become something. You want to become a doctor, whatever. And this is the horse you attach your wagon to? The blind horse with no legs?
Selling the elixir of life here.
And he literally says goofy, ridiculous, stupid things, and you as a medical professional have to defend it.
And not just stupid, goofy, ridiculous stuff. Stupid, goofy, ridiculous stuff that's getting people killed.
Dangerous stuff.
Killed. How many people died when he was pushing that one thing that we can't say?
As a doctor.
Like any of the rest of us would be thrown in jail for saying something like that on TV.
There is the person, strength and wisdom. This is supposed to be her. This is the one who has worked their entire life to have all that they want. And then this one says, utilize logic, reason, and common sense.
That just got swept out the door.
It doesn't even matter anymore. All for him.
Oh.
She's given everything. Throw that away too.
Johnny's over there throwing Thank you for being comic relief, Johnny. Because I just don't know. Is that Medusa? Is that Medusa?
All for this.
That's Medusa.
And what makes it worse,
we need her later.
What makes it worse, that one didn't even fly away. All the rest of them,
get Medusa to go. All right, you gotta ask with the Medusa cards. When is Medusa leaving the White House?
Yes. Can I do mine really quick though?
Oh yes. Well, you're.
While Johnny's collecting his cards that he threw all over his room. So here's Mango right here, the super important man that likes to be out in the public when the cameras are flashing because he thinks it's going to give him an opportunity for his career. He likes the fame, the fortune, the
glamour.
Yeah, he's a jackass. And she's doing it because she realizes that this man has a platform within the community, within the network, within a large group of people that they're going to get confused. These people are going to get confused. And she sticks around hoping that there's going to be a change in the government. But no, my friend, it's all going to be an uphill battle for you. Somebody's going to get sacrificed, so no, it's like she's doing it hoping there's hope for her that there's going to be change in the administration or the government. No, ma'am. So Johnny's going to do Medusa now, Johnny. Because that was quite entertaining. Why?
That's worthless.
Oh, I just can't. How do you defend that?
That's the first in any reader's reading I've ever seen where somebody's just flinging the cards.
Forget it.
It's beyond the I can't. I just can't.
And that's the thing I don't get either. It's like you've seen there is a pileup of bodies that have been left behind by this man, and there you go jumping on if you want to end commit career suicide and you get a call from the administration, there's your chance.
Here's how bad it is with Trumpsters. I live in an area that is probably more Trumpsters than Democrats, although my friends in my neighborhood are all Democrats. Wonder why. Because they all know what I do for a living, right? But I go up to Walgreens and was picking up just a couple of things that they've been out of in previous weeks. And thank you, me, myself, and I.
Thank you.
And I was looking for bandanas because I wanted to make myself a mask because nobody's getting masks in, and if you try to order online, it's taking like 90 days to get them. Yeah. So I was wanting to get a bandana so I could make my own mask, right? And I asked this guy in the aisle wearing a mask, right? Because all the Walgreens employees are wearing a mask, and I said, "You sell bandanas?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I follow him at a safe 6 feet right over to the aisle where he's showing me. He goes, "Oh, we must be sold out." He goes, "Well, don't get too concerned. It's really, they're making it out much worse than it is. There's probably really only about 300 dead." And I looked at him like in disbelief, blinked my eyes, and I was like, "What?"
We're at 60,000.
He said, "Well, those it's mostly people who have compromised immune systems, like people that have cancer, and people in nursing homes. They were going to die anyway." I said, "Excuse me, but I have a friend in New York who's a doctor, a pediatrician, no less, but he was helping with the crown bug, stuff, and he now has it, and his partner now has it." And they're both, his partner does not work in the medical field, but he took it home to his partner, and now they both have it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you very much for your propaganda and bullshit. Quit watching Fox TV.
Yeah, seriously.
Working at Walgreens, you should not be saying anything like that
to anybody.
In a drugstore.
What you getting on Medusa, Johnny?
The fall.
What's that? What is the fall?
The earth is fall for me.
Oh, fall, like the season.
He's going to make a statement, a carefully written statement in the fall.
Like not a fall, like I'm going to fall, but in
that would be funny. That would be. Yeah. He tripped and busted his ass when he's trying to hightail it out of the daily dose of brain poison briefings, and he trips on something. But I would laugh. I would record it and play it on replay every day because I'm that petty.
Oh, the memes that will come out of that. Oh, my
Your piece of flying.
Oh my god. All right. So I had another viewer that wanted to know who is going to be the POTUS in July of this year. I guess that's another way around of asking.
Is it gonna?
Yeah.
Trying to narrow down that timeline because the Republican convention's in August.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they have to have a convention when they had no primaries? I mean,
Exactly. Which leads me to another question that another viewer had. So we'll follow up with that one. Thank you, Suzanne. That's awfully kind of you. Thank you.
well, I'm getting there's definitely new beginnings in July by July because someone walks away. You know, there's a big change.
He walks away or he trips, Jen.
Well, somebody sticks out their foot and trips him on the way.
If I was Dr. Fauci, I'd be over there sticking my foot out like.
Like victory, he's gone. I'm not getting who it is, so hang on. What are y'all getting?
Trump.
I'm getting a new hope for something to grow here. This could also be, since it's something new, something small, or something in the early stages, it could also quite literally be a child. So a child celebrity, perhaps, that's looking to take root. So
The toddler in chief.
yeah.
I get the Chariot and the Six of Wands, person center of attention here, but the one that has sort of been there the whole time with the Chariot. I get the Empress, so the one that they have that connection with and they're defending with the Seven of Wands. And the Ten of Pentacles, the ones the GOP, this is their guy. I do get afterwards, though, there's the Nine of Swords. So there's some worry on the Fool. And then support. So whoever is waiting in the wings gets a new job here. So there is Six of Swords and Justice. It's like move forward and sworn in. But, you know, as I've always said, we shall see. But
Yeah, I was trying to ask it again, like who is it? And I'm like, it's unstable. There's a new action that gets blocked because it's just lunacy. And then the Tower, and then there's another new action by the end of the month. So maybe he goes towards the end of the month. Yeah, and walking away. New action, walking away.
So here's a follow-up question then.
Same cards. Wheel of Fortune, walking away, new action.
So here's a follow-up question then. Who are they going to run in November? Because I think we keep getting that he doesn't make it to November. Like he's out of there before, and there may be some sort of change at the convention.
I think Bill Wald is still on the ballot, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's dropped out yet. I mean, why would he? There's no primaries, and it doesn't cost him anything to stay in. I mean, he's kind of like the Tulsi Gabbard of the Republican Party. Thanks, Marilyn. Mask on Etsy is what Marilyn said. Yeah, he's already running. I think he's still on the ticket. I don't think he's dropped out. Bill Weld's a Leo if anybody gets a fire sign man.
But the thing is, like if he jumps ships and leaves, because of legal problems and everything else, or he just trips and then, oh, I've hurt myself, How can you vote for somebody that left? See what I'm saying? Like, they would have to rush to fill that spot,
White House is empty. Vacated. Thank you, JR.
Thank you, JR.
Burden, treachery. I get a water sign man. He's somebody that already works in the government. He's somebody that's been around for a long time. They think he would get the women's vote.
Yeah, we're tripping all over ourselves to go vote for that guy, aren't we?
It's an image thing, who they put up. Yeah, no joke, right? Need to fix your image, Republican Party. It's almost like it doesn't matter who they put on the ticket because they're still working with Russia.
Yeah.
Trump, whoever, fill in the blank. It doesn't matter. They're still going to try to hack things and propaganda this and propaganda that.
What are you getting, Johnie?
Trump.
That he's going to be on the ticket?
Even if he's not there, let's say, for instance, that it's kind of like the Bernie thing, like they'll be pre-printed. Even if he's not there, his name will still be on it or something of that nature. But I get 5 of cups, 4 of cups. There is a regretful offer. Like there is something that you weren't expecting. So like if he is removed for whatever reason, because here is the Page of Swords, there's like the bad news. Then there's the Fool and the High Priestess. Like he's there, but it's for a specific reason. Like for whatever reason, if he's not there, or he's not, if he's not in office, his name still appears for some reason. Maybe these is write-ins or whatever it is. But there is the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords and the Queen of Wands. There's a loss. There is some pettiness, revenge, that type of thing. But I get King of Cups and King of Swords. And I can't figure out who the King of Swords is because they're both Gemini. Him and Pence. So, but there's a King of Swords there and a King of Cups. So Biden will face one of the two. I'll still say Trump because, like I said, I don't think he's going anywhere. But there's Trump.
Thank you, Danielle, and thank you, KD.
Thank you for the super chats. So I pulled it twice. On this top row, I got the snake, the tower, the dog, the clover, and the scythe. And the question was who? Well, it's not an advisor because their opportunity gets cut off here. And they're lying here within the institution. So I don't know if this would be like your RNC, the Republican Party, the Republicans in government. They're betraying government here, their loyalties, and the loyalists are going to have an opportunity here, but then that gets cut off. So it's like they realize if this is in regard to the people that are being loyal to the party, because of him, they're going to lose that loyalty. It's going to get cut off with whoever they bring in if it's not him. I asked again with this bottom row, and I got the snake, the letter, the book, the ring, and the sun. There's some sort of secret false document floating around somewhere that reveals who they're in agreement with. And this is not Russia. This is like if they have already figured out who, if in the event that something happens, they may already have an agreement with someone to run. but there's a document that's false or a document that shows betrayal, like how they're going to betray him or get rid of him for the sake of their own party. So I don't know what that's about.
So let's ask, who do they nominate?
Okay, that's a good way to get around it.
Yeah.
Who do they nominate for?
Are they going to turn against him, or are they going to nominate somebody else, or are they going to nominate Trump?
Yeah, because I'm seeing a betrayal. Who will the Republicans nominate for the Republican ticket in 2020?
Mm-hmm. We'll eventually make it back to the list of questions.
Yeah. I'm getting the man child. That's who they're committed to. Somebody that likes to fight, and he's a man child, and that's who they're committed to. The whip, the key, the man, there he is. That's a child, and that's who they're committed to because he fights and he argues. Even though he gets his butt handed to him in every fight he gets into, he doesn't accomplish anything but stirring up trouble, but whatever. But then again, these are the people that are drinking bleach. So there's that. So there's that.
It's kind of crazy, because I always say free will, can change timing on stuff. There's a lot of fighting going on right now. There's a lot of treachery going on. There's a lot of regrets. But it's like it's a toss-up between the one that's been there for a long time or someone new. I'm not getting a clear answer.
Me either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting offering for a change.
Mm-hmm.
Offering the nomination to someone for a change.
If he would only take his own advice and take a spoonful of bleach, Ay. So we had another question when you guys are ready.
I don't get any keys either. It's like interesting. I didn't put one key.
It's the man child, the man baby. Okay, so is he going to get impeached again?
Before the elections?
Yeah, that was one of the questions on the board.
Before the 2020 elections. Oh, I think we missed Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne.
Oh, thank you, Suzanne.
I try to help Becca watch.
Sorry, I don't really read them all that much because then I get distracted.
I can't see them. I'm not reading the chat. It's not up.
Footprint Tarot got a woman.
For what?
For who would be nominated.
On the Republican side?
Uh-huh.
Well, I got the snake. That's a woman, the Queen of Clubs. Dark-haired, dark-eyed woman.
Yeah, they aren't doing that.
Unless it's Nikki Haley. Everybody's been kind of floating her name around. Nikki Haley. So for the opportunity is there to do it again. We have the Sun. This is success and triumph. There's an opportunity because the support wants it. There's support here to do it again. So there's an opportunity and support for it, which is crazy because we're how many months away from the election? That just seems nuts,
I got the Sun too. It feels like it's coming quickly. His delusional speech, I feel like, is part of it. I'm getting two articles. Yeah, something that the fool said. 2 articles. So, like, he tells on himself.
Mhm.
Justice and quid pro quo or bribery, money laundering, something along that line. I mean, he's already said, like, things to the governors and stuff that could be construed as quid pro quo. In the U.S. Postal Service, that was a quid pro quo. What he said about them, like, oh, we'll give you money, but you have to do this. That's quid pro quo. Yeah,
What are you getting, Johnie?
bullying for money.
I don't get they will, but I don't think it comes up is why. Not because it's not something they can do. He may leave beforehand. There's burden here around the devil. So something that he is probably involved in or has done or both. Personally, he's done is what actually is getting him in trouble here at the 9 of Cups. This is greed. That's greed. This is actually breaking the law. This is here is the high priestess, so this might be behind closed doors type of thing. Because there's many offers. There's like avenues that he can take. You can go out on your own, or do like your kneecaps type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a law here. So I think that he may get an offer for resignation before impeachment. But I didn't get impeachment.
Right.
Ian McGrath, I think, is saying imbleached.
So I followed a follow-up. I asked a follow-up question just in case they do, to see if the Senate would remove. And there's a woman here. I don't know if this is Pelosi or who. Money, quite possibly the economy, and then something that gets exposed around the money and economy businesses as well. This would be like your mom and pop shop, small businesses. So it may have quite possibly, I mean, how many stimulus checks have they put out already, for small businesses? And then he doesn't want to have oversight, and the money's going to,
that money disappeared awful fast too.
Then they're like, oh, it wasn't enough, but bail out big corporations first, because that's always a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. Eric Prince, what's he been up to? Eric Prince, Betsy DeVos's
little brother.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the younger of the two, if I'm not mistaken. God, what's it like to be the parents of those two and say, I'm so proud of my children?
Especially Betsy DeVos. Dear God, woman, at least
meet Satan and Jezebel.
At least read the literature before you go for an interview in front of the freaking Senate and the House, instead of sitting there just. Mm-hmm. Well, you need those things, in case there's a grizzly bear. Hell! What the hell? And I would say what she was talking about, but we're being very, what's the word? Not censored, but we have to be very careful what we say on YouTube now. Certain things we can't talk about or mention, like, because we'll get demonetized, but.
I forgot the question.
What's Eric Prince up to?
Oh, Eric Prince. I was like shuffling away, and I got carried away listening to you. When Becca goes on a rant, it's worth listening to. And when Johnie goes on a rant, it's worth listening to. And then I forget the question. When Johnie flings cards, it's worth watching.
Yes. From now on, every time Johnie goes on a rant, it's prerequisite to start throwing cards.
Send them flying. It's like, oh, hell no. Ooh, I got judgment on the bottom for him.
What I get is he is getting money from the government, basically. He's price gouging, but it's okay because that was sort of the point anyway. It's like they meant to give him a bunch of money. Like, I get hindrance. So he is blocking something. He is keeping something, keeping it. This is him. This is like the Knight of Cups. Like he's coming in with this attractive offer, but it's the word I want to use I can't use, but he's raking us over the coals. He's like taking money.
He's the middleman. He's like the middleman in it.
I knew these would come up. Well, at least the Raven. He's bringing some sort. He's stealing money. That's what he's doing. I'll just say that. And, like I pulled some tarot, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. He's stealing money. There's a whole other thing, but that's basically what it is.
Yeah, he's doing things like he's done in the past. He's trying to act like he's keeping his nose out of it, but he's the emissary. He's making money off the White House. He's disrupting the government and hanging on to the money he gets. So, when they go and they confiscate these supplies from the governors and then bring it back and then they turn around and sell it or give it, claim to be giving it to foreign countries, but turn around and sell it. I think he's the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing treacherous things.
I'm getting that there was some sort of a delay, but that delay has cleared up, and it's the good news is coming out that the delay has been overcome, and he's been going back and forth, flying overseas, visiting overseas to go to meetings here, because this is leaving and returning flight by air here overseas. Central, he's visiting overseas. He's been going back and forth overseas to attend meetings. There is a huge load of finance here that has been gifted that is supposed to be going away foreign, and he's involved some way, shape, or form in a fraudulent contract, because there's news about a contract, and that contract is huge loads of money. This right here, this is an opportunity for a gift, an opportunity for something that brings you joy and happiness, but it's a huge windfall for him, and he's involved in it one way, shape, or form with a couple of others. I'm saying one woman here that's close to him, and then this woman here. One of these women is a sibling, so I don't know if this is DeVos or who, but they're involved in a fraudulent contract over this load of money that's coming in that's supposed to be going overseas, and he's been going back and forth, flying by air, visiting overseas, and having meetings there. But the meetings are about 7 to 12 people, but I'm only able to pick out 2 women right off the bat. But it's a fraudulent contract. So, and changing a contract as well, changing and upgrading a contract for bigger loads of money. So
his sister, I gets blocked, like, from participating in it with the government, so she's like bonded with him, to disrupt the supply chain.
Yep. These people
involved in some kind of wheeling and dealing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Johnie, we're pulling some more cards on him.
No,
Johnny's just over it today.
He's stealing money. There's some words I can't say. The word that, I need to complete the sentence that is giving me, but the word is not a nice word. So let's go on.
Sounds like.
It sounds like Drake. So I'll use that word. He's draping the country of its money, basically, because he has these little dealings that he's doing, but we're giving it to him because he's connected to the administration. Mm-hmm. So that's the word that wanted to come.
Mm-hmm. All righty.
Pillaging.
Let's see. Let's see here. So we did Eric Prince. People wanted to know if we're ever going to know about the wall money and what happened to it, where it went.
No.
No? Here's your answer. Johnny said no. Moving along. Another viewer wanted to know, are they going to invoke the 25th Amendment?
No.
Johnny's like the crystal ball tonight. He's like he's like the little magic 8 ball you just shake. Let me see.
Wait, what are we reading on?
Are they going to invoke the 25th?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was doing wall money.
You do all money. I'll do
Oh no, Jenny, you froze.
out of the way.
I'm getting that they're hoping and wishing that somebody would invoke the 25th Amendment on the man-child again. But it's just a hope. A hope.
I got a lot of anxiety and secrets they're keeping from America, so I think they may have like discussed it here. What do I have on the bottom? Oh, they're burdened. Well, aren't we all? Wah. Yeah, they're stuck. They're like hung up. They're stuck. You know, he's a celebrity. He's the chief cheese in charge. I don't see him declaring the 25th. They're making too much money off him. Steady money.
Well, on the 25th, I get he's secure with the King of Pentacles, King of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. Like, I got nothing but court cards. Like, he has people around him. There's support there. Unless something changes, which it could be anyway. There is, with the wall money, I got clarity, and then there's loss with that, with the Ten of Swords. It's being covered up. This is why it won't. With the Eight of Pentacles and the Magician, it's not just covered up, it's carefully manipulated to where it doesn't look like that. It just looks like money lost. And then the Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, this in particular investigation, if there was ever going to be one, which I don't think it is secure. It's like this is one of those things where, sadly enough, no matter what, I think he's going to get away with. But there are other stuff, but that they can use against him. This is just not one.
Darn it. Well, I got another question. I think we read on this a couple nights ago, Johnnie and Jen, that about Un in North Korea. And then today I saw on TYT that there's still some confusing reports coming out. I don't expect Korea or North Korea, to be honest, in anything. It took them like 2 months to even come out with the fact that his father had passed away. But now they're saying some reports that there was Chinese doctors that were being flown into North Korea. So every time I've read on the guy,
To the park.
Yeah, tickets to the park for that one. So the question is, what will North Korea look like with a new leader?
Do they have a volcano?
I don't know.
I don't know. Steady money, like improving money flow. But that can be also a little bit slow and plodding. Like a slow buildup of.
I don't get any change at all. I'm still seeing that it's still a closed off, shut off country. And then a younger woman or a new woman that comes in.
I get the woman and her beloved family. I get no change until she's out, until she's separated out. Which might not take long for her to get some tickets to the park.
I think with the woman that I'm getting in mind, I think it's his sister.
Yeah.
She's showing close to the government here. What are you getting, Johnny?
Well, I didn't get with the cards. I did some cards, but I keep getting, this is why I say, is there a volcano? Like I don't necessarily, well, it could be a bomb, but their air is black, like it's polluted or it's smoke or it's something. But it comes from the ground up. Bombs don't actually hit the ground. They are detonated above ground, but they're still like the image of something hitting the ground and then boom. So it's like a reaction. So a volcano or earthquake or something that happens when something hits the ground. So it could be a bomb of some sort. But basically, there might be either a failed test or war or something like that. But like the country itself, I think is going to be the same with the Nine of Swords. But there is something about, it might be an earthquake because I see water too. Mm-hmm. There is water. So it could be like a tsunami underwater, or underwater earthquake is the result of, or the tsunami is the result of that. So there is going to be maybe a natural disaster or a bombing or something like that. So basically the country goes unchanged as far as leadership goes, because I think she's a whack job too. So, But I get something about the air and the water is contaminated or hurting or something of that nature, but as a result of something from the sky.
And they were saying in the comment section too that there is volcanoes there.
Yeah, there's 4 in Korea.
Oh, really?
But I'm trying to see, like, one of them's in South Korea. No, two of them are in South Korea, so there must be 2 in North Korea.
I'm saying I asked about the country as a whole. Okay, here's an opportunity for him. They keep a secret about this guy. He has left. Okay, he goes somewhere else. He leaves, but they're keeping their mouths shut about it. There's an opportunity for a new woman to come into government. However, the country itself remains permanently classified, top secret here, permanently obstructed, no visiting, no going in, no going out. It's still closed off. That was for the country, not for their politics or anything. It's just saying that the country remains, there's no change. It stays the way it is. You know, nobody leaves, nobody comes in. You know, people don't know anything. They keep stuff from their, their own people. Like, it's just, I don't see any change. It stays the same.
Yeah, I get the 8 of Pentacles, so it's stays the same. I think there's going to be also, like you were saying, it's going to be a cover up. They're going to keep this secret for a very long time. Like I pointed out the other day, how this card looks exactly like the High Priestess.
Yeah.
And there's a High Priestess next to it, so you can see past.
Yeah.
I think
they're not going to come out and say, like, that guy could have been buried last week. They ain't going to come out and say. They're not going to come out and say it.
Because there's another report that says, oh no, he's fine. He's recuperating. And then there's the other one who says, well, we don't know. So it's got to be one or the other. And I don't,
And then there's reports coming out of Japan and Hong Kong that China is sending doctors over there. Now, you're in trouble when you got doctors being sent and surgeons being sent in from China.
And mind you, there was an envoy is what they sent, and it contained doctors and also people to advise North Korea. Advise them on what? Like, why are you advising them all of a sudden?
Let's ask what they're going to advise him on.
Okay.
There was supposed to be some sort of advisory, like we're advising you on what?
His he travels a lot. Like if he goes to China or Russia or anywhere, he travels by train through China. And his train was spotted at his resort by satellite images on the coast.
That's supposed to be our ticket or our sign that he's okay.
Yeah, that he's okay. He's at his resort on the coast. And it's like, yeah, he might be, but he's not moving.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's gotten tickets to the park, y'all.
Unless they're doing Weekend at Bernie's with him.
That's why the doctors went over there to mummify him or whatever. Taxidermy him so they can roll him around. So we're asking what are the Chinese doctors going over to advise on?
Yeah, what the Chinese envoy is advising on. They might have thrown a couple of doctors in there just to make that excuse, but I'm just going to look in general. What are they advising on?
I think it's where to take the country. Like because they're never advising him to stop testing missiles on the earth or stop threatening America. They don't want to advise him on that. But I do get strategies, the first card with the Seven of Swords. That Seven of Swords is always a person sneaking away in the middle of the night type of thing. They leave behind a facade, though. So this may be... Okay, so in particular card, the Seven of Swords usually indicates a person who is stealing 5 swords, leaves 2 behind, because he can't carry them or whatever. This person has 6 swords and he left behind a cane. So there is some sort of image that we're supposed to believe in. Here is the 6 of Wands. Someone's getting a promotion and you need to know how to do that appropriately. That way you don't come off as weak or now is the time for attack or whatever. Because here's the Knight of Swords. There will be sort of a tampering of the chaos. This is the reason that they're going over the Hangman so that we can change perspectives. And then the 4 of Wands, how to restart your country. So I think they're trying to advise upon leadership and what it is you need to do next. Because I think somebody is going to the park.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're also advising on, how to build a mausoleum. I'll put it that way, because he's already gone. But it is strategy. It's image and strategy, because the Koreans are very anxious about it. There's an imbalance going on. I'm getting their advising on a hidden agenda, and I'm like, well, what is that? And it's like, well, it's covered up, and it's a burden to North Korea, and they're bullying. China's bullying them, and I get there's contracts and maybe legal contracts, or again trying to bring balance, but I can't. I think they're trying to help them pick a new leader, like to pick a leader that's strong, and shining a light on who they pick as the leader. But there's money involved too. There's definitely strategizing with them on that.
So I'm getting there's some sort of a letter of resignation, or I don't know if this would be, because this is a legal document as well. So I don't know if this is like their constitution that gives this person ultimate authority, because here you have an authority figure. He's crowned by the lilies. So this is almost like some sort of doctrine around how they get their leaders here. It's almost like this doctrine, even though I don't have the tree here, it's because the lilies is here. It's almost like this was either a parent, a father, or his grandfather here that wrote something that is documented about who is leader in the country, who gets into the position of authority, but they're keeping something quiet and secret. And they're lying here. They're lying. The person in a position of authority here, or money and finance power, is delayed. The image here is very important. How the government, how are they going to image the government here? If the loyalist here or the people in the country themselves might be kept in the dark with secrets here, but they're lying about illness. They're lying about thievery. They're lying about deficiencies, corrupt governments. They're lying about food shortages here with these two. It's like they're talking about all sorts of stuff. And it's like there's a doctrine that was written either by his father or his grandfather. And it's almost like this weird doctrine that whoever rules is like God ordained or something like that. See what I'm saying? Simply because this and what's around it. And how to keep painting that picture, even though that material itself, it's false. So that's weird.
Yeah.
And how to lie about the person that got tickets to the park. So as if the rest of the world doesn't have eyeballs or intel to figure it out. Like, you know.
They control the message very well. That's like their MO, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I think that's it. Do you guys have any funny questions you want to ask before we get off, Jen?
I actually have two.
Okay.
Because I thought of another one. If you go on Facebook, you see all these parents that are dealing with their kids at home and they're having to homeschool them, and they're all like, "Oh my God, does anybody remember how to do algebra or how to do this or how to do that?" Okay. So I want to know, will teachers in 2020 or 2021, will teachers see a bump in salary because of more appreciation for what they do?
Mm-hmm.
I seen one guy, he was going back and forth with someone. The man said that his wife made $30,000 a year or something like that. And they was like, stop complaining. That's pretty good. That's this and this, because his wife was a teacher. And I'm like, so $30,000 a year. You got a mortgage, bills, whatever. And then, anyway, because that's going to start a rant, but subsidizing your classroom is not cheap. There's a lot of kids who come to that class. That alone, just that alone, costs a lot of money. I've worked retail my whole life. I can tell you how many teachers are coming in buying loads of glue and pencils and folders and paper, not for themselves because they're not in school, but for the kids that they have to teach that come to school with literally nothing. And
didn't they take that away when they redid the taxes? That teachers can no longer claim
or something like that.
You can't deduct it. You can't deduct it anymore. Yeah. So not only are you shorting schools, now you're also shorting the teachers. Mm-hmm. Like, do you really want everybody in the country drinking bleach because they don't know how to read? Like, is that your point? Is that your goal?
Like I've always said, and this is what started another fight. It's like I've always said, what you pay doctors and lawyers, you should be paying teachers.
Hell yeah.
Like they should be making that kind of salary because nobody learns nothing without them.
And our sports people, sports celebrity it's like, well, hello, they had a coach in high school and junior high and everything. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. Big brother. I've been officially adopted by Ian, you guys. He's my big brother. So I'm getting that there is a man around that comes up with some sort of an agreement or a contract for them for their money here. Perhaps the new person that comes in. But I'm getting yes.
I'm getting a yes. For where they can afford it, for where they can afford to pay, like they can get a little more money, whether it's from taxes or whatever. Here's the children here, a new emotion because they see you're also refereeing, like you're refereeing all these kids in your class and everything. So you're being judge and jury and teacher all. And there's a new action coming in here. They see how strong our teachers are. I do get more money coming. but they have to figure out how to fund it. But there is support for paying them more. Yeah. Families don't want to do it anymore. They want the teachers to teach. The families are tired of it doing it.
Because you see what they go through. You have one kid or two kids, hell, even 5 kids that you're trying to teach these things to. They have 20. Mm-hmm. So imagine. Like, I don't like kids at all. So I know I have all the respect in the world for a person who wants to be a teacher, especially a special needs teacher. Mm-hmm. But there is wisdom here. Here's your teachers there. I think what the problem is, though, they'll get an elevation. As you see the person here standing on the books, like they're traveling through life here, their situation is not necessarily going to change. They're still in the boat. They're in the clouds here. So they're going to get an elevation, but you still have class size and this and this and this that you also need to deal with. That's not really being dealt with. So they're getting the bandage instead of the stitches, but it's something. There's boundaries, gratitude, and change. So yes, there will be at least a cosmetic change. Like I said, they're getting the Band-Aid and not the stitches, but it's a start.
So I have a angel advice question, and thank you, Karen. Before I forget, so I call my Christmas tree the quarantine tree. It was Christmas tree up till Christmas, and then it became my Mardi Gras tree. Right, I leave it up to Mardi Gras, and then everybody begged me to leave it up till Easter. I left it up till Easter, and it became the quarantine tree. So, angel advice: what should I rename the tree when quarantine is over?
So you're going to leave it up all year?
If I leave it up, what should I rename it?
The living tree. It's or something around life.
Or will it be the freedom tree because Trump is gone? Or will it be
because here's the thing. For those out there who don't know, but I'm sure you do. Christmas trees are a symbol of eternal life, because during the winter, back in the days when people didn't understand seasons, all of their crops would die. And the only thing that would be alive is the evergreen tree. And so they took to sort of not worshiping the tree, but it's a symbol of when things came back to life. And so during the springtime. So this is the only thing that would survive the winter is the evergreen tree. So it is, I got faith, the unexpected, and surrender. So for those who say it's not Christmas, take it down, go away, surrender to this, the unexpected. You can change the name, I think, a bunch of times, but I think something to do with life is because on this in particular card, faith, like she's giving birth to the world, like the Empress card type thing. So it has something to do with life. There's tree of life or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, I think something like that.
Tree of life. I like that one.
What are you getting, Becca?
I got the mice, the house, and the child. So this is just talking about, the illness where you're having to stay home, and then something new, something that's in the early stages. And then lights here, lights of electricity. I like Johnny's Tree of Life. I think that's cool.
Tree of lights or tree of life or tree of lights? Lights. Working with energy work and stuff. Mm-hmm. Wow, interesting. I was curious what would come out. That was an interesting question somebody asked me in what comment on one of my videos.
Well, ask the crystal. See what the crystals say.
Yeah, ask the crystals.
Yeah,
so, Johnny, you want to tell them what's going on with your crystals, if you don't mind, for people that are new, and can you bring it down like you did for us the other day?
Yeah, we made him do a whole bunch of readings for us last week after the end of our live stream.
Yeah, it was fun.
How he does this.
Yeah, I get abundance here. There's something about a cone. So, okay, this is this is probably what something travels through till it comes to a peak. So, well, that's the tree. Haha.
Yeah. Cone-shaped tree.
There's a lot of scatterings too. there's something else around. So this is maybe something to do with fall or something to do with support. Like leaves are not just like they bring life to tree of life. They bring life to the tree here. So there's a lot of leaves, a lot of scattering, but there's an abundance and then scattering. So what is the tree of there's a sort of not Celtic, but there's the
tree of life from Kabbalah.
Doesn't it look like something that sort of scatters out and
it in the Kabbalah, it's more vertical. If you ever watch Victoria Skirba's when she's doing the numerology Kabbalah tree of life.
Mm-hmm. I keep getting the word scatterings. Like these are leaves, but it's something to do with life, support, abundance. That's what I get.
Or let's see, scattering ornaments off the bottom.
Well, that could be too, because like I said, leaves can be decoration. So
yeah,
maybe just decorate it differently.
Yeah. Johnny, explain a little bit about how, like you were telling us, like you can feel like if it's not going to answer or when to stop.
So what is happening is somewhere along my bloodline use, what do you call this, claromancy? Is that what you call it? They something like that, to where you basically, and it doesn't have to be crystals. It can be anything that you scatter. So you basically read the pattern. So what I do is just switch it around and it'll tell me when to stop. And then I read the pattern. For whatever reason, it says something to me. Like Water Bendita, she reads the tea in the bowl.
The cups.
And I can see where she, like, the first time I seen it, I was like, how is she going to do this? And then when she started pointing stuff out, I was like, oh, I totally see it. And so now I don't know how, but I can see a pattern in this and it tells me something pertinent to the question.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't tell me when to stop, that means it's not going to answer. But if it tells me when to stop, then it does.
Cool beans, Johnny.
So it's mesmerizing to watch him do it, guys. I love it. Yeah. I hope you do some of it in your videos, like when you're doing tarot readings and stuff.
For sure. I mean, Johnny and Jen and I were here for like last live that we did. We were back here just staring at Johnny doing it for how long?
I kept trying to think of questions. I have like nothing really going on in my life. You know, I do personal readings, I do gardening. I'm at home. I'm in quarantine. Yeah. Nothing really going on, and I was like struggling to think of questions to ask him. I'm like, wait.
But it's awesome. It's just so cool to watch. You know. Mm-hmm. So. Well, thank you all so very, very much.
Let's ask one political question with it while he's got his crystals out.
Okay.
What advice do the crystals have for how we're dealing with the emotions with Trump? Since we're in quarantine, we're all watching too much TV.
Brain poison.
So here is fighting. Here, this is like a character here and throwing something this way. So, and it's kind of hard to see on the white table, but I'll get something different next time. But this is fighting. This is us moving away from this. So I don't think so much. So the news intake, I think, don't take it out on other people. And so here is the fighting, and then this is the energy moving away. Now this here is like small clusters. So don't worry about being overwhelmed by, here's the problem with what we have with Trump supporters. It's not that they're in great numbers. It's just the numbers that they do have are like armed and crazy. So this is a small cluster. So don't ever fear of being overtaken. What happened in the last election is just something that needed to happen. So this is like I said, don't ever fear about being overtaken. There is also something about grassroots and sprouting here. So this is do what you can do. Understand that everybody's not an activist. So if you go around, don't blame people. Again, here with the fighting, move away from that. Don't blame people because they don't have the same vigor as you. Why aren't you upset? Why aren't you protesting? Why aren't you doing this? Because they have a different kind of life and a different kind of energy than you. You get fired up about things easily. They don't. They take their protest and they do it in a different way. Just like some people go to the soup kitchen, some people just donate. So that doesn't make you any better than they do or worse than they are. So here is the majority is going. Why do I get again with the stars in the space? There's something. There's like a limitless here with what you can do. Here's the majority. So this is limitless majority. I don't know what that means, but because there is a limit to. Oh, okay. So younger voters are in greater numbers. They're their largest demographic here in America or the United States. So they have to become engaged, but they're not, because here, this is like I see a snake mouth. They're sort of being devoured by messages and entrapment. What is that? What is it? Something about being trapped. They may be trapped in despondency, like when you feel disconnected from the game and you feel, what is the word? When you feel like your government isn't serving you, then you care nothing about participating.
Disenfranchised, right?
And you don't feel like you need to participate in it because it's not doing nothing for you. So here, they sort of get trapped in the mouth of the snake, to where you're believing the lie or you're believing the propaganda that everything is horrible, everything is that they don't care and it's rigged and it's this and it's that. So the majority here, you need to get them involved in something else, because they move away from fighting, but then they just become despondent. They get the sort of that Four of Cups type of energy, to where you cross your arms and you become you don't care about the fate of anything. Here we do move on, but it's the leaders here are in fewer numbers for whatever reason. So I think that things are going to go on as you're going to have very few standout people. Like everybody is going to start to come together under one message. So maybe, unfortunately for the green people, this is like under the corporate Democrat message, but there's going to be very few standout people. So AOC may find herself with less allies than she had before, or it could just be the same four people, the four freshmen that are having this fight. But we're moving away from the fights, which is a good thing. But the majority here, the young people, are sort of being ate up. That's what I get.
Thank you for that. That was awesome.
Thank you, Johnie.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And I think next week, whose channel are we on?
Back on Johnny's.
We're back on Johnny's for next week. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, Jenn Lynn and Johnie, for hanging out with me tonight. And thank you so much for the super chats. And we will see you guys next time.
And for the questions. Thank you, guys.
Questions, too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.